You're listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with Lyndia Grant.
Well, good evening, Radio 1 listeners. It's good to be here with you this afternoon. I'm so happy today we have guests that are going to be talking about helping our black men. Today is November the 18th. Our show is heard throughout the DMV live every Friday at 6 p.m. And you can Google the Lyndia Grant Show on YouTube. And I want you to click like and subscribe. And when you do that, the show will show up in your YouTube listings every time we record. Today, I have three guests. Dr. Karen McRae, the first female national president and CEO of National Organization of Concerned Black Men. She just finished up her national conference, and I'm so delighted that she contacted me and invited me to come. It was such a pleasure, and I want to welcome Karen to the show today. How are you, Karen?
I'm well, Lyndia. How are you?
All right, good. I'm doing wonderful. And I hooked you up in our Men's Day show because by you being the national president of Concerned Black Men, our church, the All Nations Baptist Church, is celebrating our Men's Day this Sunday. So I wanted to welcome our pastor, Reverend Dr. James Coleman. Are you there, Pastor?
I am. Thank you, Lyndia. I'm glad to be with you this evening.
Wonderful. We're looking forward to a lively discussion. I want to welcome Dr. Julianne Malvo. She's going to talk politics. I'm telling you, we can't keep our eyes off the TV because there's so much going on. Dr. Julianne, welcome to the show. She is Dean at Cal State Los Angeles and President Emeritus. I always like to remind people every once in a while. She was the president at Bennett College. They have a building named in her honor because she did so much to help the college. She's a world traveler, speaker extraordinaire. So I just want to say hello to Dr. Julianne and ask you to go ahead and do your politics.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Lyndia. Good morning. Good evening. Okay, I'm in the West Coast, and I don't know what time it is. Leading the Black Men's Organization. We do know that none of us can do anything without the others of us. So though we do have our powerful Black women's organizations, it's useful, necessary to have powerful Black men's organizations also. So greetings. Now, this has been a week. It's always going to be a week, though, until January. Well, it's just going to be a week as long as that orange man is lurking around. He announced, of course, that he's running for president in 2024. Even amidst that announcement, Merrick Garland has appointed a special prosecutor to look at the documents he took to Mar-a-Lago and other irregularities. And Tish James out of New York is not letting up on him, nor is the sister down in Georgia. So he can run for what he's running for is his life. He's saying he's running for president, but he's running for his life. And we can all just sit. Even his colleagues in the Republican Party are looking sideways at him. I was watching something this morning, and a young MAGA Republican said, I was so disappointed at his speech. He wasn't fiery enough. I said, the man old. Not only he's old, he's tired, he doesn't know what he's doing. But this guy said, he wasn't fiery enough. I don't know what I'm going to do. Well, do whatever you do. But that probably is not the top of the political news, but we should all be aware. For me, the top of the political news has been the announcement from Congresswoman House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I'm a native San Francisco, and I love Pelosi. Remember when she was elected in 1986 after Sala Burton, who was Phil Burton's widow, retired or resigned. I forgot what she did. Maybe she died. But in any case, Sala stepped down, and then she anointed Nancy to be her successor, and here she is. And here we are, 30-plus years later, looking at Pelosi with all her grand dignity, saying she didn't realize she would be going from being a housewife to a House Speaker. Isn't that's amazing? It's a powerful mantra for women.
It is.
Stepping down She is going to stay in the House, but she is stepping down from leadership. She very appropriately said it's time for some younger people to pick up the mantle, and I think she's right. Many people are saying it's going to be Hakeem Jeffries as the new speaker, but I think he's going to have a little bit of a struggle on his hands. It's not just going to come to him. But, remember, Pelosi has struggles on her hands, too. So if it's meant for him, he'll have it. And if it isn't, there are many wonderful Republicans. Okay, wonderful Democrats where Pelosi has been. There are, there are new Democrats, new people in the House. 17 of them, Lyndia, are between the 20s and their 30s. So we've got a whole new crop of folks coming in. The youngest is a young brother named Marcus Frost. He hails from Florida, and he's 25 years old. And he's already had an opportunity to talk to President Biden and talk to some of the other Congressional Black Caucus leaders. So it's really exciting. I'm looking forward to following this young man's career and hope that it's as storied and lengthy as Nancy Pelosi's has been. Now we got to go to Georgia, where Bubba the Fool, also known as candidate Bell, and I'm just indebted to Pastor Jamal Bryant, who says, don't nobody want a walker. Well, you want a runner. So somebody to do some work. But today,
go ahead, Dr. J.
And he was talking about vampires. Well, what are you talking about, dude? Just really, really, really strange. But they're still polling even. And although we don't fundraise on your program, I will say to people, if you get a text that says, give up some money, do. We need to get Warnock back in there. First of all, he's a man of God. He's good people. Now, I know him because he gave me some money when I was president of Bennett. They went into his church and he just wrote me a check. That's the kind of brother he is. So, we need to have. But, the devil is busy. Pastor will testify to that. Most pastors. The devil is busy all the time. Now, sweet news here in L.A. First black woman mayor of Los Angeles.
Yay!
Yes. We are all so excited. She has already said as soon as she comes in, she's going to declare a state of emergency for homelessness because there are 40,000 homeless people here in Los Angeles. Now, her opponent, Rick Caruso, who spent $110 million of his own money to defeat her, and she still beat him by a sizable vote. The votes are still being counted, but last she had 54 and he had 46. So the lead can only get wider. But in any case, I'll give it to him. He ran a tough campaign, but that's because he had all that money. You couldn't turn the television on without seeing his commercials. But he conceded graciously, so I'll give him credit for that. But we still, we're talking about a wannabe. He's a wannabe. And he attacked her in so many ways and so unfairly, but she prevailed. She absolutely prevailed. Mm-hmm. So I'm excited, and many of us here in LA, especially the Sisterins, but everybody is really, really excited about that. Now, my last thing, and I'm really, one day, Lyndia, I'll have to get you to poll your listeners. How important to us is Twitter? Do black folks, there's something called Black Twitter. I don't know what it is. I'm too old. But there's somebody has something called Black Twitter. I guess it's when black folks tweet on stuff. But whatever Twitter was, it ain't what it used to be. Elon Musk has already run the company to the ground. His poor little joke on himself is, how do you make a small fortune on the internet? He says, start with a big one. He's laid off over 1,000 people. They locked the office today. So first you have to say you want to stay or not. If you didn't want to stay, you got $3 months worth of salary if you said you want to stay. If you didn't you said you wanted to go. If you didn't say you want to go and you said you want to stay, he told you you're going to be working harder and longer, and, it's going to be hard working conditions. So, hey, why wouldn't you go? Perhaps enjoy your holidays and go with your 3-month severance package and go back looking for a job in the new year. If you're an engineer, you're not going to have a hard time finding a job. But they locked the building, so you cannot get into the building with your security passes. If you left something on your desk, too bad. Lots of folks are looking into the economics of Twitter and whether or not they've broken any laws. But here's the bottom line for black folks. Does this really matter to us? I mean, I know so many black people are moaning and groaning, we're going to lose Twitter. Well, what was Twitter anyway? Pick up the telephone and call somebody. I mean, I guess my whatever is showing. I'm being a grump today, but when I look at this, all the angst about Twitter, I'm thinking, really, we really want this white billionaire who is arrogant as they come. We want to enrich him? I don't know. Now they have some new kind of blue Twitter. If you want to do that, you have to pay $8 a month. It's been free all this time. I don't think so. In any case, that's just something to think about. And as I said, one day, I think I'll put some on my Facebook page. Ask people, how important is Twitter to you? Because, Lyndia, is it important to you?
Not really. I tweet my shows out most weeks, but I use Facebook the most.
Okay, well, that's because we old. They tell you old folks use Facebook the most. And then there's
Facebook
Twitter.
And send out emails and text messages.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, that's my report. You got the politics, you got a little economics, and let's fasten our seatbelts. Of course, next week is Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving to all. Don't eat too much turkey, and think about the people who don't have anything to eat.
All right. Thank you, Dr. J. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. We're glad that you were here today.
Thank you.
All right. You heard Dr. Julianne Malvo give her political commentary. We're going to go to a commercial break, and when we return, we're going to be talking about how to reclaim our black men. We're going to be talking about Go Get Your Brother and Karen's theme, Dr. Karen Murray's theme, celebrating black men. We ride together, we rise together. So back in a moment.
If it wasn't for my care coach at AmeriHealth, I probably wouldn't be so healthy right now. As a man, we don't get checkups or see a doctor regularly anyways. It's probably just a man thing because none of my partners go either. We know we should, but we just don't, and hope it works out.
So what changed for you?
AmeriHealth assigned me a care coach, somebody that gives one-on-one help, answer questions, explain things, and help set my appointments. She also helped me understand what having high blood pressure really means and ways to manage it so it doesn't kill me. It ain't nothing to play with. If you're a member of AmeriHealth, ask for a care coach. I'm glad I got mine.
At AmeriHealth, if you need a care coach, you can have one. Just call us at 1-877-759-6224 to get connected. 1-877-759-6224. This program is funded in part by the government of the District of Columbia Department of Healthcare Finance. Mayor Muriel Bowser.
Washington and former religion columnist Lyndia Grant.
Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on a segregated Montgomery bus. In lectures on brotherhood, Ms. Parks often said, "People always say that I didn't give up my seat because I was tired." But that wasn't true. I was not tired physically. I was not old. I was 42. No, the only tired I was tired of giving in. Driven out of Montgomery by harassment and death threats, Detroit, Michigan became her new home. Rosa Parks will always be remembered as the mother of the civil rights movement. Raised in the AME church, she once said, "I remember finding such comfort and peace while reading the Bible."
Read more in the religion column of the Washington Informer, an award-winning African-American newspaper. We don't report crime or gossip, just positive news. Pick up the Washington Informer or visit us online at WashingtonInformer.com. Call 202-561-4100 for more information.
This is Frank Smith with the African American Civil War Museum in Washington, D.C., located at 1925 Vermont Avenue Northwest on the Green Line. Did you know that a recent study found that children who visit museums do better in school and in life than children who do not? So parents, teachers, and preachers, let's get moving. I promise you, if you bring your children to the African American Civil War Museum, they will be inspired by the images that they see. They will be impressed by our living history reenactors who are always available, and they will be involved in our scavenger hunt that takes them throughout our exhibit. That's the African American Civil War Museum, 1925 Vermont Avenue. Our hours are 10 to 6:30 on weekdays, 12 to 4 on Saturdays and Sundays. See it. Be inspired.
And we are back. You're listening to the Lyndia Grant Show here on Spirit 1340 WYCV. Now I'm going to just do a brief introduction on Dr. Karen McRae. She is, as I said, the first female who has ever headed up the National Organization of Concerned Black Men. She has also brings an abundance of experience. She served as the executive director of the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation, worked closely with members of Congress. She's been the executive director for ASALA, the study for the Carter G. Woodson Association for the Study of African American Life and History. And that's how I met her, when I was working with ASALA. We were on a conference call, and she called me, and we've done quite a bit of work together. And I thank you for inviting me to the gala last week, Dr. Karen McRae.
Oh, my joy seeing you again. You look wonderful, and it's always good seeing you.
All right, well, thank you. And then we have my pastor on here. He is going to be talking to us, Reverend Dr. James Coleman. He's part of the presidential club for the Missionary Baptist Ministers Conference. Every person that serves as president, because it's a very large organization through D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. And he's also our pastor of 30 years at the All Nations Baptist Church. And he got his Ph.D. and some other degrees, but he got his Ph.D. from Howard University. So let's get started. I'm going to ask Pastor to get us started, and then we're going to go to Karen.
Well, thank you, Lyndia, for this inspiring and provocative show you've put together. And to my friend, Dr. Julianne Melville, she is absolutely right. The devil is busy. We have elected to put a program together titled Reclaim Your Brothers. But how do you reclaim, or how do you go get a brother? The fact that they must be sought and reclaimed as brothers suggests that there's something wrong. There's something missing. There is a psychological, social, and spiritual cause for their absence, their continued detachment and separation from their families, from their church, from their schools, from, in fact, the justice system. And yes, while there are some social ills and some injustices, there are some steep problems embedded in the sense of what a brother really is. I am afraid that we have not talked enough about what a brother is. And I don't want to take up all the time, but Merriam-Webster defines it as the quality or state of being a brother in fellowship, in alliance, or association. And so the point I want to make, Sister Lyndia, is that black men have the shortest lifespan, the highest incarceration rate, the highest rates of death from firearms, and the lowest rate of employment. It is not easy being, quote, a black man. And this is men in general, but I'm particularly interested in the African American black male, because being black carries an extra burden in many instances. And so what this question God asked Cain, where is your brother? And Cain's reply was, am I my brother's keeper? Now the solution, and I'll stop with this because I know you have another guest, but because I don't want to start preaching. But what I want to say is that what is missing is brotherhood. We have not established properly a sense of brotherhood so that we can help bolster the character, the accountability, the reliability, and the wisdom that we can share with younger brothers and teenagers, so that we can have a more cohesive sense of what I am calling brotherhood. And I really do think that, like David and Jonathan were brothers, we need to establish a brotherhood of that model. David, after killing Goliath, had Jonathan in brotherhood, meaning that whatever they went through together. Now, I'm going to stop now because I know we got another guest, and out of respect for the other guest, but ask me some questions after she has her opportunity, I'd like to get back at this, okay?
I will. And Dr. Karen McRae, welcome to the show. I'm so delighted and honored to have you as the first, you're making history, the first woman to head up the Concerned Black Men's Organization. So talk to us a little bit about it, what you all did last weekend, and your theme that I gave earlier.
Sure. Concerned Black Men was established and founded in 1975 in Philadelphia by 5 Black police officers and firemen. And what it's done and evolved since is it has 33 chapters across the country, including South Africa and Australia, in Queensland, Australia. Roughly, we have about 15,000 members on paper, but as you know, I'm sure the pastor knows, you have people on paper, but you don't have, those aren't the workers. So what we're doing now is kind of sharing CBM's story with other young men and young men and men, so that they can understand the importance of what Pastor just initiated with respect to brotherhood. One of the things that we did last week is we celebrated our 47th anniversary, and the theme that was selected was celebrating Black men. We ride together, we rise together. And we did that because of all the negative stereotypes that we see on television. We wanted to create an environment where Black men, instead of being on the menu, as I believe they've been since 1619, have a seat at the table in a manner that demonstrates and affirms Black men and boys, and particularly their level of excellence in various fields. And what we do in CBM is, when if a brother falls short, we're there. We want to be a resource for them to help build them up, just as we built pyramids, created life-saving medicines, and go to work. Our men go to work every day to keep the lights on in their homes, and we want them to be remembered and viewed as the light in our communities as well. So that's what we're now doing at CBM. And what you may not be aware of, Lyndia, is before our dinner, our awards banquet, when we celebrated the 5 Black Capitol Hill police officers and Sergeant Sergeant Goodell and Detective Fanone and Ben Crump and Anita Hill. We had a few change-making women as well, too, and Ruby Bridges. What we did beforehand is, and we're taking this model all over the country, not just in our chapters, but in other cities as well, too. It's called Brothers Can We Talk? And it's a panel of seasoned men and college students, young men. It's men only. I make my remarks and I step out of the room, and it's only a room full of men. And what they do is talk about issues pertaining to them, anger management, being marginalized, looking for work, all of those things that men face every day in our society, particularly Black men, and how we can build around each other.
Karen, can I ask you a few? I know you have all the influence. If you could ask some of them to come to our church this Sunday. I know they have a D.C. chapter. I've been trying to reach them, and I'm working on the air. So try to help get us some of them out there Sunday.
Well,
I would be so pleased.
I promise you that I will be there. I will be there this Sunday. If I can't reach anyone else, trust me, I will be there, and I'll get the word to them, because it's vitally important that Black men come together, not just in the DMV, but around this country, to support one another. And Pastor, to another point, we're starting a magazine in February called Bro Magazine, where we're just going to talk about issues and have guest authors and writers and for young men and seasoned men to talk in a venue that's safe. It's a safe place for Black men to land and get information, whether it's in finance, lifestyle, technology, just everyday life. So that's what we're now trying to do with CBM. Similar to what the pastor shared, is be a resource. We have a homeless veterans program where we retrain homeless veterans so they can get different types of jobs. We're creating a relationship with Lincoln Tech as an example, where we can bring young men into Lincoln Tech and learn a different trade skill or things of that nature, or get a second career. What we're trying to do is reshape.
We're almost out of time.
I'm sorry.
We're out of time. But I want to now make sure you all know that at All Nations Baptist Church, number 2 Rhode Island Avenue, this Sunday, May 20th, our guest speaker is Sam Ford from WJLA-TV 7. He's going to deliver the message, and we have a panel of distinguished men, including Judge William Alexander, Ward 5 Attorney Bradley Thomas, Commissioner Gordon, Andrew Fletcher, who is an attorney and D.C. Democratic Party Chair for Ward 5. We have Tristan Elliott, longtime member, and our Men's State Chair, Reverend Hugh Terry. So now, Pastor, you just got about 1 minute to give your final summary, and then we're going to have to close.
Well, I want to thank your guest. I look forward to having some discussion with her on Sunday because it's time for us to take the plan and try to help shape the man. So I look forward to the discussion so that we can have some vigorous movement, help brothers who feel isolated to join a brotherhood. Thank you, Lyndia.
Right, I love it. Karen?
Thank you, Lyndia.
Just your close.
Oh, they can reach us to find out more information at cbmnational.org. All the information is there. They can reach me, and we can have any kind. I'll talk to anybody. I really want to get the help. We need our men need us, and our young men need us as well. Thank you, Lyndia.
May I give our telephone number at the church?
Yes, sir.
202-832-9591. That's 202-832-9591. And we'll be broadcasting at 12 noon. Call us, and we'll give you the details. Thank you. And
be there at 10 o'clock, you all, 9:45. The panel is going to be first, followed by a message from Sam Ford. All right, that does it for our show. I want to let you all know that next week my guest is the niece of Congresswoman Maxine Waters. Her name is Paula I. Carr. She is an author of a children's book series, and I'm so excited. She's going to be on Black Friday. And so that's next Friday, right after Thanksgiving. I'd like to thank Karen McRae and our pastor for being our guest today. I hope that something that they have said will touch your heart. Earl Nightingale once said, "Words, thoughts, and deeds have a boomerang effect. So be careful what you send out, because we do become what we think about." And Scripture says, "My people perish for the lack of knowledge." So think on these things. Until next week, this is your host, Lyndia Grant, saying good day.
Thank you for listening to The Lyndia Grant Show. Think on these things with your host, Lyndia Grant.